Thomas. How you doing? You good?
Yes, thank you.
Good. I had the pleasure of seeing a little bit of training yesterday. I saw Dom back on the grass on his own. I said in my live, potentially Doncaster. Was that okay to say?
It was okay to say. The positive thing is he's back on grass and has been that for 3-4 days and is progressing forward, slowly but forward. And I think that's positive. It's too early, obviously, for tomorrow. Also too early for Doncaster. But the positive thing is that he's on the grass and is progressing forward.
3 months at Tottenham Hotspur for you. So much has happened. It's flown by, but it feels like you've been here longer. As a compliment, Son's moved on. You've got a new club captain. Signings have come in. Players have left. Just reflect on your first 3 months here at Tottenham Hotspur, if you can.
I agree with you. It's gone so quick. So many things have happened, and it seems like I've been here for longer. But you're also in that moment where just constantly things happening, and you are, I would say, dealing with it, putting processes in place, structure, all that, and I think we and the team and the club is in a good place. But I don't want to look too far ahead, not look too far behind. We need to stay now in the moment and do everything we can to win tomorrow.
Yeah. When do you start looking at the league table? Because they say, Spurs could go here over the weekend, but it's so early. But because of where Spurs were last season, I think some fans like looking at the table. But when do you personally start looking at it and giving it serious thought?
April. Let's put it that way. I'm actually, I think I looked at the table a couple of times after one of the last games or some played, and I'm thinking, is that team that low or that high? Because I'm not looking at it. I'm trying really to focus on ourselves and our performances and what we can do. And it's so easy to get dragged into something you can't control. I think for the fans, they should dream and should hope. All that's what football is all about. I also dream and hope, but I'm a little bit closer to the action, so I need to stay level-headed. Focus on next training. Need to be perfect, like today. I think it was very good training. The coaches, the staff, the top players, very well. Everything will run well, and then do what I can to make sure we try to win tomorrow.
Also very good to win a Champions League match so soon after that London derby on Saturday. I love the shot at the end of you with Romero, and you were like, yes, like that to the supporters. And Romero, I've never seen him so happy. At the start of the summer, there was potential talk of him moving on, but I looked at him Saturday against West Ham, looked at him Tuesday. There isn't much better in world football at centre-half, is there, Thomas? How highly do you rate Christian Romero?
I rate him super high. I agree with you that I think he's one of the best right now, centre-back right now in the world. He clearly, it helps when you won the World Cup and the Copa America and the Europa League finally, and more things. So, but the best, they are performing consistently week in, week out, year in, year out. And I think actually we see... Of course, I don't know Kuti inside out because I've only been here for 3 months. But of course, I've followed him over the years. But I definitely see a more mature player and person. Not that he hasn't been that before. It's not like it's happened the last 3 months. I'm not saying that because he was very good last year and also won the World Cup, whatever. Can't remember, a few years ago. But about that consistency, now I see a player that are very aggressive and need to be very aggressive. It's cool and composed when need to be cool and composed. And I think he got that rare combination of being super aggressive in the duels, but also stand in the box and okay, I need to move 2 steps, boom, do the header. That's the top level centre backs that are doing that. You're welcome.
Hi Thomas, just staying on the topic of Christian, you've just mentioned some of his personality traits. I mean, he does seem to have this sort of aggressive side on the pitch, and he does also seem to be very cool and composed and calm. So what kind of a personality does he have in the dressing room, and what do you make of him as a person?
I think he's a great character. He loves his football. He just loves his football. He's like a like a young, like a boy sometimes, just loving playing around out there with the boys. And I think that's a big thing. You need to love the game. He clearly does that. He is, when we train, focused. He got that ability. I think that's a big thing. Also now he went through set pieces, stop, start. It's a little bit boring, all that, but he's focused. You can see it in his eyes. And got that ability. Boom! Now it's game time. Now it's competing. So no, great character.
Another player who has played very well in the last 2 games, Lucas Bergvall. He said after the win over Villarreal that he's been working with you and the video analysts every day to get better. When you came into Spurs, when you looked at him as a player, what did you think he needed to improve on, and what kind of work have you personally done with him to help him improve?
I think it's fair to say that I think he had a good season last year. Last year played a lot of minutes that laid the foundation for this season. Because in the beginning of the season he came back from ankle injury last year. Ankle injury last year that he just needed time to go, and you can see now he's literally going from strength to strength. And that's and have that extra confidence. You can see there was a situation second half where he got the ball from Mo in and around the box, just took it forward inside the box. That's the movement you see from a player that have confidence. I think the coaches and I, we've been working with him, of course, a few things. So he got so much energy that sometimes you say, pause, stop, don't run when we have the ball, and find a little bit the higher, the more dangerous positions. So, for example, the deep run where he scored the goal against West Ham was a big thing. The deep run where he was involved in the own goal against Villarreal. So those deep runs and arriving in a higher position up the pitch is key, I think. And then he's learning to be more and more clever in the pressure, where he doesn't have to. Where we need all his energy and enthusiasm and just driving the team, but also how does he need to be goal side when he marks in man-man, and how does he need to close the angles and stuff like that.
And just looking ahead to the game tomorrow, Fabian Herzler was very complimentary towards you this morning in his press conference, and he said, I had a small chat with him in the summer. Can you reveal the nature of that chat, and what do you make of him being, I think he's 32, being a manager, at such a young age in the Premier League and doing so well as well?
Herzler deserve likewise massive praise, to be able to, first and foremost, to get the job in a Premier League club, then you have done something right. And he's definitely done something right last year with Brighton as well. So he's young, but and he's learning every day. I'm learning every day, but he's clearly, you can see from last season, done well, but also learn processes, doing all the things right. And now I think he got a great future ahead of him. I was thinking myself at 32. Wow, that's a few years ago. So and I think I'm still young, quite young. But no, it's great job he's done that, Brighton.
Thanks, Thomas.
Jay, please.
Hi, Thomas. Destiny Udogi's slowly returning to full fitness. He's made a couple of substitute appearances. Just wanted to ask, what does he offer this team that's maybe a little bit different to the other fullbacks?
I think I'm privileged to have 4 good fullbacks, including Ben Davies. But I think it's also fair to say that probably Dest and Jet and Petro a little bit ahead, and those 3 are performing at a very high level. Destiny have done it very well the last 2 seasons when he's been fully fit. Petro has been just unbelievable level, I think, and Jet just built last year. Impressive how he lifted his level, and the way he started the season has been super impressive. So, of course, you can say the classic one is that Destiny offer his left foot as a left back. So that's some things a little bit more natural for him in that sense. I think both him and Jet are a little bit similar. They have that fantastic physicality or ability to go all the time up and down, and that's a fantastic thing to do, also to drive forward. So yeah, I'm happy and it's a privilege to have good fullbacks.
I think you mentioned it briefly after the Villarreal game, but why is Destiny's left foot so important on that side of the pitch?
I think it is very important, but I also think, just to put it into perspective, I think Jets give something else, because when you have a right foot, also like we did with Keane Lewis-Potter last year in Brentford, you can then cut in on your right, and you almost can play it as a winger sometimes, where you can cut in and have the strong foot on the inside. But of course, the left foot gives some different angles when you play it. You can play different angle passes into the 6, to the 8, to the 9. And of course, when you're running forward and you're overlapping, it's more natural to your stronger foot, of course.
You mentioned set pieces a minute ago. I just wanted to ask about Andreas Gorgeson, how long you've known him for and what he brings to the role.
I think Andreas known him since he was at Brentford when I actually appointed him there, together with Brentford and the other guys there. And then we stayed in contact over the years, and I think he offers a lot to the coaching team. So we have 3 assistant coaches, him, Matt Wells and Josh, and all 3 bring different things to the table. The big responsibility for Andreas is obviously set pieces, but also culture, but also he got a different approach, which I think is important in a group, to ask different questions, sometimes extremely annoying, and put me a little bit on the spot, but that's good. We need that. I need that. But obviously on the set pieces, you can see, I think we have a very good foundation to stand on. We can get better, but defensively look strong, offensively look strong. So a big credit to him, but also massive credit to and to Sean, our analyst, but also to the players that really bought into it.
Just going back to the left-hand side, Xavi obviously said, I think it was last week, that predominantly you'd see him as a number 10 more so going forward.
I see him in both positions, but can definitely can play both positions. But I agree, 10 is a good position as well.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Really, have this kind of initial first couple of games, has that been about introducing him more gently into the Premier League rather than putting him in the hustle and bustle straight away in the middle?
No, I also think it's how we let the team grow and develop. Where we came from in the summer, I think I was thinking the other day. I don't think I said it, that we last year and the last 2 seasons, but definitely last year, it was like Kulusevski, Song, Maddison, Solanke. None of them is available, so it's a completely new front 4. Xavi came in late to the picture. Mo came in the preseason. Dom hasn't been fully fit. We played with Pape or Lucas as the 10. So we're trying to add those layers, game for game. And right now, our strongest bit in the team is the structure, and I think the way we defend, which is also a very offensive way of defending with the high pressure, because we win the ball high, we keep initiative, we can be aggressive and intense. And then we are building more into how we can add maybe more offensive players in the future, depending on how players are developing. I also need to say that Lucas is doing quite well in the number 10 position. Different profile than Xavi, but offers something different, and we are going to play a lot of games this season.
Kind of on that subject as well, and obviously seeing how many games Lucas has played already. One young player from last season, Archie Gray, who obviously played a lot of games last season, which maybe more so than expected. How do you manage his expectations this season? Because obviously he's played less thus far. And also, how do you see his development and what position you'll eventually have him in?
I think it's fair to say that mainly he played centre-back and full-back last season, very few as a central midfielder. I like flexible players. I think that every coach like that. I definitely like it. Also to give us a little bit more squad depth at times, or opportunities, different abilities to different games. I see him more as a midfielder than the 8 or centre-back. He can play both. And sometimes you need that little bit run of games, like Lucas gets now, and you take the next steps. I must admit, Archie really impressed me. He played a very good pre-season friendly against Newcastle. I think he really grew into the game against Burnley. Was very, very good second half. And I like his mentality. So he was not in the squad for West Ham. The day after, he trained fantastic. Of course, I tried to speak to him and encourage him to train fantastic. Yesterday, fantastic. So that's what you do, and he does the bit I like. For example, from midfielder, he can twist and turn to go forward. He's very mobile. He's reliable. So no, I really like Archie. Sometimes unfortunately, I can only play 11. Can we change the rules so sometimes I can get a few more on the pitch? It will help a little bit.
sorry to sound like I'm chasing, but I just wondered if you decide on your leadership group.
So what's that again?
Leadership group.
Put a big thing. I need to do that. It's actually that will come. I promise you soon. I will put pressure on me now. That's good. Yeah.
And just very quickly, Kota Takai, how's he doing?
He is very close to training the group. I should know because I got told yesterday. I'm pretty sure he will train with the group on Monday. Pretty sure.